Hey guys, tonight's Hopper Hot Take. We're going to talk about the lack of athletic trainers once again. Okay, right now the national championship game is on Ohio State and Alabama. Guess what? There's no lack of athletic trainers at that game. There's no, oh well, I hope someone is in the stands that can provide medical care. That's a bunch of nonsense. Okay, it's time to move on. Read an article this morning from Wisconsin basketball player Jordan Glenn from Wisconsin Lutheran collapsed on the basketball floor at an away game. Parents in the stands came rushing to his aid, did CPR, got the AED, saved his life. He was conscious before EMS arrived. Great work by the responders, right? Nurses, whoever these medical providers are. I believe they said they were emergency room nurses or something like that. Fantastic work by the providers, right? By the bystanders. Okay, that's what we have to have is bystander CPR. But what we've got to get away from is waiting and hoping that there are healthcare providers in the stands. That's a bunch of nonsense. Like I said, right now the national championship game is going on. They're not waiting to hope that there's a nurse in the stands. Okay, there's more medical providers on that field than most of us will ever see in our lives in an athletic event, right? It's time high schools get on board. Remember, 37% of public high schools in America have a full-time athletic trainer. 37%. 35% of all schools across the country have an athletic trainer on site full-time. Okay? Remember, we have 34%. They have no athletic training services whatsoever. It's time that ends. Because athletes like Jordan Glenn need immediate medical care. We can't just hope and pray that there's a medical provider present. What happens if this was during practice? What happens if he collapsed during practice and the coach is the only one in the gym? Hopefully that coach knows CPR, knows where the AED is located, right? But we can't rely on those healthcare providers anymore. Okay? We've got to get away from that. Again, I asked a question on Twitter this morning. Fantastic work by the bystanders who responded. I've got nothing bad to say about them, right? But again, the question that has to be asked is, what was the plan before Jordan collapsed? What was the plan? Anybody know what the plan was? I bet those bystanders didn't know what the plan was. Okay, how to get to the school, where the AED is located. How do you handle this situation? Okay, that plan needs to be defined by the schools. It needs to be defined. It needs to be clear who the healthcare provider on duty is. That healthcare provider needs to be a certified athletic trainer. That certified athletic trainer is trained for emergencies just like this. That certified athletic trainer creates emergency action plans because sudden cardiac arrest, we know, is the leading cause of death in student athletes. It's the leading cause of death on school campuses. We have to do a better job with sudden cardiac arrest. It starts by hiring the appropriate medical professionals. AT for all can't just be a dream. It can't be a good saying. AT for all has to be mandatory. It has to be important. It's time we prioritize sports safety. That is tonight's Hopper Hot Take. Y'all have a great night.